What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video music for the first time, and today is the return of Ace Combat, which is kind of rare. But not only that, it's Ace Combat Zero. I've only heard this game one time, and it was my debut of Ace Combat Zero or Ace Combat on the channel with the song Zero, that flamenco one that kind of blew me away. One of my earliest big popular videos, and that was in fall of 2021. I don't know what's going on today. Today's the second time I do a video from the last time I revisited was 2021. But I've heard some Ace Combat since then. You know, I've heard 4 and 5 and some other ones, but Zero, this is the return of it. So wild. The first song is going to be called The Round Table from channel Project Aces, and then after that we have Merlon from Cypher ACW, requested by Cabe, and requested by Darton and DSL 2000. Sorry. By the way, the original request for Merlon was no longer available, so hopefully this is okay. This was uploaded a while ago, so. Anyways, let's get right into it. Ace Combat Zero. I'm kind of nervous. It's been a long time, very long time. Get into it. The Round Table. Zero, the Belkin War. Oh, okay, they still kept that. Oh man, the memories are flooding back. I still remember that day like it was yesterday. Dude, first time I heard Zero, I just I'm just gonna stop talking. This is a dogfighting game, by the way. I think. I do remember hearing a choir in that song. Who composed this? Junichi Nakasuru. Oh, so it's not Kaiki. Oh wait, I'm confused now. Hold on. I'll look that up later. I gotta hear the song. Woo, the bass! Okay, this game's from 2006, okay. Staccato technique. Just think of it as finger picking with your nails. Or fingers. How did they get this inspiration to write like this? What a good decision that was. It sounds so good. I remember that might have been the first time I pulled out my guitar for that video. I'm getting nostalgic here. I'm gonna be very honest here. I'll say it after the song is over, though. It's the first thing I'm gonna talk about. It almost sounds like a fretless bass. hear those like so I'm just imagining like the scenario, like explosions and missiles with this playing. That must be so cool. There's no other way for me to say it besides it just sounds cool. Okay. So I haven't heard Ace Combat Zero since 2.5 years. Right? Zero, particularly. So now this is the second time I hear Zero, so it makes me think, is a lot of the soundtrack this flamenco fusion thing, or all of it, or just the two that I've happened to hear? Anyways, while you guys answer that, there's something that's really... Well, I mean, I'm glad I experienced it at any time, but I really wish I found this stuff earlier. Particularly like around the time it came out, which is apparently 2006. Because in 2006, I was already starting to get curious about other guitar styles. I was already playing guitar, but I already wanted to... I was only mostly doing like just metal and riffing and just, you know, just chug, chug, chug. But I was starting to get into more blues and jazz and that kind of stuff. And then I started to eventually... It wasn't until like 2010 or 2011 that I started to play like classical nylon flamenco style with the fingernails and all that. And now I can do kind of whatever I want. But if I heard stuff like... If I knew stuff like this existed... Well, nothing would have changed. I just would have got into it sooner. But I just didn't know stuff like this existed. I was always looking for hybrid genres that dealt with flamenco. So I went into artists like Mark Rizzo, who went solo from the band Soulfly. He has a solo album. I think he has a couple solo albums, and I think he still uploads to YouTube like all the time, like just from his phone and stuff. Just kind of like scratch recordings. It's awesome. Then there was like it's not really flamenco, but it's close. It's like Rodrigo y Gabriela, it's a married couple that to duo. One she plays like all the rhythm stuff and kind of drums, even though she's hitting the guitar, and the guy does all the leads. But if I knew back then that there was, you know, flamenco style with, you know, synthesizers and like a horn section and a budget of a video game of what is Namco, right? I would have lost my mind. So I'm quite late, but it's really cool. And it seems to me like Zero is, I don't know exactly. I'm not entirely sure, but it seems like Zero might be the only one that has this much emphasis. I've only heard 2 songs, but I don't remember any of the other Ace Combat stuff I've heard to have this sort of style. So that's why I asked if it's the whole soundtrack like this, or just or just the 2 that I've heard so far, because we still have another one coming up. So yeah, let me know about that. But man, this is just so cool, you know, like it's just, it checks off all the marks of stuff I like. It's obviously flamenco, and what's cool about that is that there's like, the reason flamenco being combined with other stuff, the reason it's so awesome is because if you take away all the other stuff, it's still flamenco. You know, if you take out the drums, the castanets, the horns, whatever, and you just have the solo guitar as traditional flamenco is, it would still sound cool. And you would never be able to tell that it was made in 2006 or from like the 1800s, or, you know what I mean? It's just as organic as it gets. It's so cool. But knowing what Ace Combat is, if you don't know what it is, it's obviously like dogfighting jet game for the most part, as far as I know. So I'm just imagining like the idea of, like, I'm a big fan of like skies, sunset, clouds. You know, I like the sky, looking at clouds and stuff. You know, I love when there's like a sunset and the clouds are all red or like orange and stuff. So I always try to imagine when I think of Ace Combat, like, you know, being up there and then just going Mach speed and doing flips and stuff and missiles and all that. But hearing this in the background, I would lose my mind. I would be like, this is such a cool moment. And I see why people are so adamant about Ace Combat. And I'm surprised that it's taken this long. I could have sworn, because I looked it up right before I clicked play. I'm like, oh, let's see how many other Zero songs I've done, and I'm like, October 2021, or is that correct? But yeah, I haven't done Zero since that day, and that is one of my more popular videos. So that was nostalgic for me. The round table, I have no idea what the hell that means. I wasn't even trying to picture anything really besides what I just said. If I had to take a guess, it's the name of a mission. That's all I got. Because I've said this before, and I don't mean this in any sort of negative way, but I don't think of Ace Combat, and I don't envision a story. I'm sure there is one, of course. I don't think just go up there and shoot stuff, but you know, I don't get much more of a vision besides skies and jets blowing stuff up. I'm sure there's much more to it, obviously. So, you know, I don't know. It's great. But we have another one. This one is Merlon. Merlon. This one has no information on it. This looks like a maybe a logo of one of the, what's the term here? Squadrons? I don't know. Okay. This one was uploaded in the distant land of 2012, when the world was supposed to end in that year. So this is Merlon. Merlin. I'm gonna say Merlin. Okay, let's go. Don't know the composer on this one. Electronic percussion. Not flamenco this time, but still a string guitar, or string instrument guitar. Not nylon though. Sounds kind of like the aftermath of something. I haven't heard much music like this from Ace Combat, period. Not just Zero. Ooh, I feel like it's building up. This one sounds heavy. Nice. Ooh, that sounds good too. Excellent keyboard work. I've heard two different sounds now from it. Three sounds. The guitar arpeggio has never left the song. It's still there. Still there. I'm drawing a blank here, like what's happening, you know? It definitely feels like post, conclusion, aftermath, something like that. Like I can envision hearing something like this and like, you know, salutes. I don't know. It's different. Maybe some dialogue. This one's leaving me very curious. Like I would like to see a cutscene here or whatever's going on. Still 30 seconds left. Ooh. Sci-fi again. Oh, I thought it was over. Interesting. A rare ending tease. Into a loop? Oh, it was a loop. Oh, okay, okay. Huh. Well, that answers the question if all the songs are flamenco. Maybe now it boils down to some or just those two. Because that was nothing remotely even close to flamenco. But that was still an acoustic guitar, which is vastly different. That's a whole discussion for another day that I've discussed many times. Easy way to think about it. Think of just very, very simple TLDR is nylon guitars sound like plastic. They have like white looking strings and you play with your fingers. So they have like a softer plasticky sound, and it's always in classical music and flamenco music. And then acoustic guitars are usually bigger bodies and they have steel strings and they're usually brighter and chimier and they're played with a pick or fingers. Basically, it's just a sound. Like one sounds warmer and the other one sounds chimier. So this one, that chimier arpeggio is repeating throughout, I would say 90% of the song until that loop at the end. So that's interesting. I wonder what was the decision there. It could be a reoccurring leitmotif, or if it belongs to a character, maybe it's describing this character, because it never went away. It made its presence abundantly clear, and that it wasn't going anywhere either. So clearly the whole song was built around it, but to an extent of not even just building around it, but making sure everything that gets layered on top of it fits around it. So, interesting choice. And I'm sure there's a reason why, but not only that, is as far as other Ace combats, there's not much stuff like this that I've heard. This kind of, to me, this felt less excuse me, less gameplay and more important scene dialogue. Not necessarily credits or ending, but maybe just like, you know, something important. It just felt like more ambience. But honestly, who knows? You know, since I've yet to see like the game in action, this could very well be music during action, and that'd be kind of cool, because think of it like the emotional, you know, whiplash you'd get from that, from like this high-flying, quick machinery to hearing this like, slow thing. Maybe that's a possibility too. It's just not the first thing my brain goes to. To me, it just, you know, it sounds very much like after a mission. You know, it sounds like the stuff is just gone, you know, that kind of thing. I'm not sure if you're typically on the good guys or with the bad guys or a mixture of both in these games. But either way, it just sounds to me very like post. You know, something occurred, a conclusion. What's it called again? Merlon. You know, both these song titles are both like. I would only assume that the song titles in Ace Combat always reflect a mission. It sounds like, you know, because in my head, again, I've never played these, so I'm not trying to sound closed-minded here, but in my head, when I think of Ace Combat, I think of like you start the game, there's probably a campaign mode, you play it, obviously, and then it's going to be like a series of missions. I just don't see like, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see like much different modes, different types of games. You know what I mean? Like I think it's just pretty much like a very straightforward game. Maybe multiplayer and all that, but I don't think there's like how much can you do with it, you know? But please inform me because I'm curious. But yeah, that's interesting. The return of Ace Combat Zero is pretty wild, and two big different songs in this one video, right? The round table was very reminiscent of the first time I heard Zero. Same exact kind of flavoring all over it. But this one, even though the first one was like more exciting, this one has my curiosity, you know? Merlon. Well, that's pretty much all I got. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't take that long again to return Ace Combat Zero. I know one of my moderators is a fan of Ace Combat, so every now and then I'll try to like help out my mods and push them some of their requests through for helping me out. And yeah, so we'll see. That's it. It's been a while, but man, I got nostalgic with that. So thank you, Darton. Oh, that reminds me. This requester, Darton, is a Platinum supporter, and they have other Ace Combat requests too. So I just answered my own question. You will see more Ace Combat pretty soon. Not 2 years. Maybe, I'm not even going to say time, but not 2 years. And thank you also to DSL 2000. Okay, let me know more about Ace Combat Zero. Thank you to all my patrons you see here. I couldn't be here without them. Thanks you for watching. My name is Jesse. Have a good evening.